Die T. Dr. Park, this is your last warning. Hospital CEO Victoria Manning sat behind her massive desk, flanked by two lawyers and the head of HR. Your insubordination, your refusal to follow cost-cutting protocols, your habit of contradicting administration decisions in front of staff. It ends now. Dr. Kevin Park stood calmly in front of the tribunal, his hands clasped behind his back in a familiar military position. We're offering you a choice. Accept reassignment to a rural clinic, or face termination and a black mark on your medical license. Manning leaned forward with predatory satisfaction. No other major hospital will hire a doctor with a reputation for being difficult to manage. She had no idea that the difficult doctor standing before her was a former Army Rangers medic who'd earned the Distinguished Service Cross for repeatedly running into enemy fire to rescue wounded soldiers. Dr. Park had faced down Taliban fighters, had performed emergency surgery with nothing but field equipment, and had never, not once, let bureaucracy stand between him and saving a life. And he wasn't about to start now. It was Dr. Kevin Park's 8th year at Metropolitan General Hospital. As one of the emergency department's most experienced surgeons, his reputation was impeccable. Patients trusted him, nurses loved working with him, and the most difficult cases were always assigned to him. But the hospital was changing. 3 years ago, Manning Industries had acquired Metropolitan General. Victoria Manning, 45, was an MBA-wielding businesswoman with a ruthless focus on profit maximization. To her, the hospital was just another business venture. Efficiency was mentioned in every meeting, cost-effectiveness. Bottom line, Dr. Park observed quietly. 12 years of military service had taught him patience, but it had also taught him when action was required. It all started with the case of Mrs. Elena Rodriguez, 85 years old, insurance issues, requiring complex heart surgery. Her family had no money, but when Dr. Park reviewed the case, he saw the surgery had an 80% success rate. Dr. Park, Chief of Staff Dr. Wellington called him into his office. We're not recommending surgery for the Rodriguez case. Why? Success rate is high. Financial viability issues. At this age, at this cost, the risk-benefit analysis is negative. Dr. Park's jaw tightened. Risk-benefit analysis. They were speaking in military terms, but using them incorrectly. Without surgery, she'll die. Dr. Park, we can't save every patient. We have to be realistic. But when Dr. Park looked at Mrs. Rodriguez, he saw the wounded soldiers from Afghanistan. Age, insurance, cost, none of that mattered. What mattered was life. That night, on his own time, with his own resources, he operated on Mrs. Rodriguez, free of charge. The surgery went perfectly. Mrs. Rodriguez was discharged 2 weeks later, returning to her family. But management was furious. Dr. Park, you're performing unauthorized surgeries, Manning called him in. You're using hospital resources without permission. I'm saving lives. You're driving this business toward bankruptcy. Manning's voice hardened. This isn't a charitable institution. This is a profit-making enterprise. Dr. Park studied Manning. This woman had never made life or death decisions, had never held someone's life in her hands. Ma'am, Dr. Park spoke calmly, the Hippocratic Oath says, first, do no harm. Calculating money while a patient dies is harm. Dr. Park, I'm warning you, you will follow protocol. But Dr. Park had another oath, his military oath. Defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And sometimes the greatest enemy was within the system. In the following months, Dr. Park's rebellion continued. He didn't refuse uninsured patients. He didn't stop recommending expensive treatments. He refused to attend cost-cutting meetings. He continued giving moral speeches to staff. After each incident, warnings came from management. Dr. Park, you're not a team player. Dr. Park, you don't show respect for authority. Dr. Park, you're not acting in accordance with company policy. But Dr. Park answered to a different authority. He'd learned moral leadership for 12 years. Real leadership didn't come with titles. It came with character. The crisis point came with the case of young Tommy Chen, 16 years old, motorcycle accident, massive internal bleeding, multiple organ damage, critical condition. His family had minimal insurance. Required surgery cost $200,000 plus. Dr. Park, Manning came personally, we're not authorizing this case. The kid will die. Unfortunate, but we have financial responsibilities. Dr. Park looked at Tommy's file, 16 years old, his whole life ahead of him. He'd seen 18-year-old soldiers in Afghanistan. He'd saved them too. I'm operating. Dr. Park, I officially forbid it. Noted. Dr. Park went to the operating room. 8-hour surgery, 3 cardiac arrests, brought him back 3 times. Tommy survived. A week after Tommy's successful surgery, Dr. Park was called to a disciplinary hearing. In the conference room, Manning, Chief Wellington, HR Director Sarah Chen, and 2 lawyers. Dr. Park, Wellington began, repeated insubordination, protocol violations, unauthorized resource usage. Dr. Park stood at military parade rest. You're putting the hospital's reputation at risk, Manning continued. You're threatening financial stability. Ma'am, Dr. Park spoke quietly, I'm just staying true to my doctor's oath. Your oath, Manning smiled coldly, doesn't include this hospital's profit. Dr. Park looked at everyone in the room. None came from the medical field. None had saved lives. They only counted money. We recommend Dr. Park's psychological evaluation, one lawyer spoke. We see a dangerous hero complex. Hero complex? Dr. Park's voice changed. Yes. Defying authority, savior complex, unrealistic expectations about patient outcomes. Dr. Park listened quietly. Savior complex? Unrealistic expectations. In Afghanistan, he'd seen real hero complex, young soldiers running into enemy fire to save their buddies, medics rushing to the wounded after IED blasts. Real heroism meant self-sacrifice. This was just doctoring. Dr. Park, Manning hardened, you're not a team player. Your military background makes you unsuitable for civilian medicine. Military background. Now it was time to tell the truth. My military background, Dr. Park spoke slowly. Exactly what do you think it is? Manning looked at his file. Army medic, discharged 2015. Correct but incomplete. Dr. Park stepped forward. 75th Ranger Regiment, Special Operations Medic, 12 years active duty. The atmosphere in the room changed. 4 deployments, Afghanistan, Iraq, classified locations. Dr. Park continued. Combat medic, not regular medic. Wellington was surprised. What does combat medic mean? It means performing surgery under enemy fire, life-saving procedures during mortar attacks, extracting wounded soldiers from helicopter crashes. Dr. Park straightened his chest. Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star, Bronze Star with V device, Purple Heart. Silence. And you're talking to me about hero complex. The Distinguished Service Cross, Dr. Park explained, is for extraordinary heroism in combat, second highest military decoration. Manning's face paled. Silver Star, gallantry in action. Bronze Star with V, valor under fire. Purple Heart, wounded in combat. Dr. Park approached the table. Mrs. Rodriguez's surgery? I performed similar surgery in Afghanistan with less equipment, under rocket fire. Tommy Chen's case? In Iraq, I saved IED blast victims with 6 hours of continuous surgery. No breaks, no relief. HR Director Chen spoke for the first time. Why didn't you mention this before? Because I don't want hero worship, Dr. Park replied. Real heroes work quietly, do their job, not for recognition, but because it's right. Dr. Park, Wellington quietly asked, didn't the military have resource constraints? Dr. Park laughed, a bitter smile. Resource constraints? Sir, in Afghanistan when morphine ran out, I performed major surgery with aspirin. No blood supply, I donated my own. Equipment broken, I improvised. Manning looked uncomfortable. The military has a concept of acceptable losses, Dr. Park continued. But for a medic, there are no acceptable losses. Every life matters. In civilian medicine, Dr. Park looked at the group, you have infinite resources, modern equipment, unlimited supplies, best technology, and you sacrifice lives for profit. The silence was heavy. In the military, I took an oath, leave no one behind. Hippocratic oath, first, do no harm, same principle. Dr. Park, Manning went on the defensive, you need to understand business realities. Business realities? Dr. Park's voice hardened. Ma'am, in Afghanistan, I saw a real business reality, life and death, success and failure, clear metrics. Dr. Park walked to the window, looked outside. What are the metrics here? Profit margin, stock price, not patient mortality rate. He turned back to the room. In the military, mission failure means people die. Here, profit failure means stock price drops. Different priorities. Dr. Park looked coldly. Military, mission first, people always. Here, profit first, people expendable. Wellington shifted uncomfortably. Dr. Park, that's an unfair comparison. Unfair? Ask Tommy Chen, ask Mrs. Rodriguez, were they expendable? You talked to me about insubordination, Dr. Park continued. I had a perfect service record for 12 years in the military. Never questioned orders, never failed a mission. He looked at Manning. But in the military, orders are lawful and moral. Obeying an unlawful order is grounds for court-martial. In this hospital, Dr. Park's voice strengthened, sacrificing patient care for profit is an unlawful order, against medical ethics. The lawyers looked at each other. My medical license, Dr. Park continued, comes from the state, not the hospital. My Hippocratic oath is to the medical profession, not company policy. And the Distinguished Service Cross, Dr. Park straightened his chest, is for extraordinary heroism, not for money, for moral courage. Manning finally stood up. Dr. Park, regardless of your military service, you will follow our rules at this hospital. Or you'll face consequences. Dr. Park quietly looked at Manning. This woman had never seen real consequences, never faced life or death decisions, never held a dying person's hand. Ma'am, Dr. Park spoke calmly. You think I'm afraid of consequences? Manning smiled confidently. Everyone has a price, Dr. Park. Everyone breaks. Break? Dr. Park slowly shook his head. Ma'am, I survived Taliban torture. I survived IED blasts. I performed surgery under enemy fire. He looked around the room. And you think you're a threat? Actually, Dr. Park smiled for the first time. I wonder who the real threat is. Manning frowned. What do you mean? Dr. Park pulled out a thick file from his pocket. Patient care violations, medical ethics breaches, federal health care law violations. The lawyers went into panic mode. I've been documenting for 3 months, Dr. Park explained. Every denied treatment, every canceled surgery, every profit over patient decision. What does this mean? Wellington asked. It means Medicare fraud investigation material, state medical board violation reports, federal lawsuit evidence. Dr. Park placed the file on the table. I learned intelligence gathering in the military, pattern recognition, evidence documentation. Manning's face went white. Dr. Park, Manning spoke quietly. What do you want? Change of mission parameters. Dr. Park used military terminology. Patient care priority restoration. Specifically, Dr. Park pulled out more documents. Emergency fund establishment, uninsured patient care program, medical ethics committee creation, peer review system. Cost. Initial investment $2 million. Annual operating cost $5 million. Manning checked her calculator. Impossible. Profit margins ... Alternative cost, Dr. Park interrupted. Federal investigation plus lawsuit settlements. Estimated 50 to 100 million. Plus criminal prosecution. Silence. Your choice. 6 months later, Metropolitan General was a different hospital. The Park Foundation for Uninsured Care had been established. The Medical Ethics Committee was active. Patient care quality had increased 200%. Dr. Park was no longer just a doctor, but also a patient care advocate. Manning had given him a special role, moral leadership consultant. Ironically, hospital profits had also increased. Better patient care, better reputation, more patients, more revenue. Mrs. Rodriguez was healthy, visiting her family. Tommy Chen had started college, pre-med. And Dr. Park could finally honor both his oaths, his military service oath and the Hippocratic Oath. A year later, Metropolitan General had become a model hospital. Other hospitals were studying the Park model. Dr. Park had established a resident training program, military medicine integration, for combat medics transitioning to civilian hospitals. Manning, ironically, had become a medical ethics champion. She was giving TEDx talks on profit with purpose. And in Dr. Park's office, the Distinguished Service Cross stood alongside a Medical Excellence Award. Both service, both honor, same values. 2 years later, young Dr. Lisa Chen, Tommy's sister, started her residency. She'd finished medical school on scholarship from the Park Foundation. Dr. Park, Lisa asked, what was the most important lesson for you? Dr. Park thought. Military service, medical training, corporate battle. Service never ends, he said finally. Uniforms change, mission continues. Oaths use different words, but same principle. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. Lisa nodded. And courage? Courage, Dr. Park smiled, is knowing what's right and doing it, regardless of consequences. He looked out the window, saw Mrs. Rodriguez in the hospital garden walking with her grandson. Mission accomplished.